So, I just got back from traveling for work. Sounds really glamorous, and everyone's always talking about, wow, you went to whatever exotic place, which most of the time it's not exotic at all for me. But there's just so much involved in traveling with your gear, and it's sometimes not quite as romantic as it sounds. I mean, I did go some interesting places, I did meet some neat people, but there's just a lot of difficulty with it as well. So I put together, excuse me, so I put together a little bit of a video to kind of talk about my recent travels, and maybe you'll get something out of it. To kind of show you how I pack my cases, things like that, what kind of gear I brought for this particular job. Hey kids, I am in Tulsa. So this is the start of a week of filming all over the place. We're filming in Tulsa tomorrow morning, and then we're driving back down to Dallas. Then we're filming in Richardson, which is part of Dallas, on Tuesday. Then Wednesday, we're driving to Odessa and filming in Odessa in the afternoon. Then Thursday, we're driving from Odessa to Houston. And then Friday morning, we're filming in Houston for the morning and then driving back to Dallas that evening. And then I've got another shoot taking me to San Diego. But anyway, I don't have a whole lot to talk about, but I'm going to try and make my videos kind of short, and I'll just kind of maybe do progress throughout the week. So anyway, I've got kind of, this is the hotel I'm staying in. It's a Hampton Inn in beautiful Tulsa. And let's see if I can flip my camera. So this is my innovative cart. This is the Voyager NXT, and it's a 36-inch. And I've shown in another video my other cart that I've got C-stands on. The shoot I'm actually doing, it's for a steel company. That's, but I think the most I can say. I'm not really sure. I'll have to find out. And we're just doing beauty shots, so it didn't really need much gear at all. But on my cart, you can see I've got some stands over here on the front. This has got my lens wipes right there. And there's some Pinkro. And then I've got a couple of drones. I've got an Avata with me, and I have my Air 2S. And then I've got, in this case, is Sony A7S III with different lenses. And then I've got an gimbal, the Ronin RS2. And then down below, way down here, this other little case has got different monitors and things like that. So anyway, sometimes I prep for these beforehand, sometimes I don't. I don't really know what I'm walking into necessarily tomorrow, which happens a lot with these kind of shoots. So I'm going to probably just leave everything kind of put together and leave it in the cart. I am going to probably take my RS2 out and just double check all the settings on it. Sometimes those things get kind of wonky and you use them on different shoots and all that good stuff. So I'm going to mess with that. So as I play back some beautiful footage from my dash cam, I'll just talk a little bit about that shoot that I did. And basically, I didn't really have a whole lot of ability to do any behind the scenes filming. I get photographs sometimes of behind the scenes, but that's about it. So anyway, that's just kind of the way it goes. When I can, I'll do it. If I can't, then obviously I won't. I'll put this kind of filler in instead. And then this is some footage actually I did with the FPV drone that I thought I could share, and it's just kind of some fun stuff flying through this manufacturing facility, and had a lot of fun with it. The client really enjoyed the scenics this way. It was just kind of a new dynamic kind of way of looking at things. They've had drone before, but it was just the standard drone where you just kind of fly, up and down and things like that. So this is the setup that I had, the basic setup that I had for the medical videos that I was doing the following week. And this is the one I kind of traveled with. This was the first one I did down in Houston, so I had some bigger gear. You can see here, TSA PreCheck takes longer now than general. This is at Love Field. This is at Balboa Park and San Diego. And we've got the FX9 set up, just very basic. My friend Sal there with kind of our setup there. You can see the Amaran light there, and that's about it. One of the nice things about travel is seeing things like this. This is a scene between somewhere between San Diego and Phoenix, which I thought was really pretty. And then we had a lightning storm as I was approaching Dallas again. It's kind of cool to see from the air. This is the street that we filmed on in New York, and you can see here the FX9 with the Amaran and one of our grips hanging out there. And that's kind of what we used for our setup. Unfortunately, that day was canceled, so we set all that stuff up pretty much for nothing and flew back home later on that afternoon. So I've got these Pelican Air 1615s that I use for travel. I try my best. I can use media rates and things like that, but I try my best just to use two suitcases that are under 50 pounds, so I don't have to mess with it. And then I have 2 carry-ons, and sometimes have to have a bit of a discussion with the flight attendants because they're not like one. They're close to the same size, and I usually have to put them both in the overhead bin because I'm also very tall and I've got big feet, so I got to put my feet somewhere. So usually when I tell them that the check-in bag or the carry-on bags are full of batteries and expensive camera gear, they've always let me on. So, you guys may have been experiencing the same thing as me. Golly, you can see how junked out everything is right now. Terrible. The issue is just it's getting harder and harder to do these travel shoots and use the airlines to check everything in. Okay, case number 1. Hopefully it's okay. It's this one. I got some new padding in this case. It's actually kind of nice to have padded dividers in at least one of the cases. And I'm just going to kind of show you guys what's in here. I don't need to take it all out right this second. But I've got, I've got a reflector bounce. These things are awesome. It's lightweight. It's easy to work with. You can have someone hold it if you need to, put it on some stands or whatever. It's a power supply for my FX9. I brought an FX9 and an A7S III. The next time I go, I may need to get like a smaller camera again, like 2 FX3s or FX3, A7S III kind of a thing. The FX9, I stripped it down. I'll show you in a little while. Power supply for the Amaran 60X, which was awesome, by the way. These little lights really pack a punch. So what I did was I brought this, just recently got this Amaran 60X. It's got this little, I call it a shower cap for a squirrel. And it's got this, nice reflector in it. It is very, very punchy, and you can run it off a V-mount battery. You have to get the cable for it separately. But, for the size, it was perfect. So I had one main light that I used. I've got a softbox with it as well, with diffusion. We had a couple of shoots that were indoors and some that were outdoors. So that's kind of what I was trying to balance. Then I've got the rest of the Amaran kit down in there. So power supply for it and everything. If I can power it somewhere, I will, just because I don't want to risk losing the batteries, but you never know. These are the heads for the tripods. So I brought a Sackler Ace tripod that I've had, carbon fiber, and then kind of a Manfrotto Benro kind of Frankenstein kind of thing, but it's a tiny little tripod head, but perfect for a little thing. They wanted to have 2 camera angles on this shoot, so that's what we did. So got that together. Then I've got some clamps. Those are always handy. A little gaff tape. You never know. And then I've got just my little accessories here. I've got screwdriver. I've got a Leatherman, and just little accessories just in case you need them. It's good to have. Then I've got in here my mic kit. I actually brought a full-on boom. So I've got just a shotgun mic and the boom holder, and then the shotgun, the mic holder itself, XLR, and I even brought a T marker for the person standing. Yes, it weighs a little bit. I probably could use some tape, but my client really likes it, so I'd like to bring it for him. Kind of fun. Anyway, that's what I've got in this case. I'm going to put this away. I'll show you what's in the next one, and then I'm going to do my work. Okay, Pelican case number 2. And this one, these are some really old, like light stand kind of bags And what I did is, there's some of the old labels on there that I used to use. But, it just gives a little bit of protection in the case. Otherwise, there's no padding further in this case. It's just got these in here. And this case is strictly stands and whatnot. So I've got an old Airy stand that I use for my boom. And I've got the boom pole. This is an old boom pole. It's bent in the middle. And the cable inside doesn't work anymore. But that's fine. Don't need it. And then I've got these stands. These are Lowell stands. And they're reverse folding stand. You can kind of see that. These are pretty darn sturdy for what they are. Pretty lightweight. I was looking into some carbon fiber stands. Might get those for future shoots. And I brought 2 of those. So my thinking was one key light, another stand for putting the reflector on or bounce or fill, whatever, or another backlight, whatever, if I needed it, and then one for the boom. Very simple. Again, this was not an elaborate shoot. The client wanted kind of a man on the street kind of look. And I'll share some pictures of some of the setups where we were. But, again, it's kind of what the client wanted. They wanted something really simple. So I didn't have to go out of my way to make it elaborate. The more stuff you bring, the more everything. So then in here are the sticks. So you can see I don't have quite the length to have these built with the heads, but the Sackler Ace carbon fiber, and then Benro sticks. Super, super lightweight. And, sturdy enough for the cameras. Not a big deal. Not doing a lot of activity. And then, let's see. Got my clothes. I usually use these kind of zippered bags. It's real easy. Just kind of, flip them upside down, keep them on the way. Client didn't have to see my clothes. And then I recently got these. These are basically water sandbags, I guess you'd call them. But we used these when we were in San Diego. They were great. Just had my assistant went to the bathroom, went to the sink, filled these up with water, and went to water, and they were about 10, 15 pounds, which is great. And then I just brought 2 stingers. And that was it. Real simple. So that's what we brought with us on that trip. Okay, then for carry-on, this is equivalent to a 1510. I got this. It's one of those Harbor Freight ones. It's a great case. I just needed one at one time and just bought it really quick. And the internal dividers are Think Tank dividers, which are really, really good. And inside of here is kind of the meat of the production. So I've got these little micro V-mounts. I've got 4 of those, and never once did I use more than 2. One for the light and one for the camera. That was kind of it. Sony a7S III body. Batteries for the a7S III. I picked up this Aperture MC Pro. It's the newer version of it. Brought the whole kit together. I did not use it on the shoot, but it was definitely handy to have just as an extra light. They're pretty punchy for their size. Then for audio, for Lav, I use the DJI microphone system. So it's this little, you have 2 transmitters, 1 receiver, tiny, tiny little guys. And I put Lavs on them and attached them. They were really, really handy to use. Because I'm paranoid, I brought Hollyland, their microphone system, which looks similar, just a little bit larger. And I brought these just as a backup, just in case I was having any kind of issue. I always like to have some kind of a backup system if I can. Got my Small HD Cine 7 monitor in here. And then I only brought 2 lenses. I brought a 16 to 35 and a 24 to 105. That was it. Didn't want to mess with more lenses for what I was doing. I wasn't making high art. I was just trying to film stuff for the client. Stuff looked great. These are awesome lenses. And to have just the 2, so one, I had the longer lens on the a7S III, the wider lens on the FX9, and then I just punched in a little bit on the sensor on the FX9. So there you go. Then, my new bag. Just bought this bag. It's a Think Tank. Forgot which model it is. If I remember, I'll put it on the thing. Man, these are awesome. It's been, so many people have these that I know. and I've never bought one until now. I've had inserts and things like that, but never had the actual things, and these are wonderful. And as you can see, I put the FX9 in here, and what I did is I stripped it down a whole lot. So I have a VCT plate that I usually have on the bottom, took that off, put a Manfrotto plate on there. I kept the V-mount back. It didn't really add a whole lot of weight, and it was, you know, simple to keep that on there. And then all I did was I had these little 15 millimeter kind of receivers. One was for my Cine 7 and the other one was for the built-in monitor that goes with the camera. So that's all that I put on there. And then just some accessories. I've got some cables in here. XLR for the boom mic, little powder makeup just in case you need it. This is the actual LCD for the FX9. Got some variable NDs, which were for the Sony. This is kind of my kit for sticking lavs on people. So put that in there. I brought Tentacles with me. Tentacles are great. Headphones, little hard drives, and I had a laptop in there as well. And then my scale that I always weigh my gear with. Every time I repack it, I just weigh it one more time just to make sure that I didn't put something in the wrong place. In the end, both checked in bags. One was 41 pounds, the other one was 46 pounds. So definitely under the 50-pound weight limit. These bags are obviously, they're pretty heavy. The Pelican knockoff, whatever, was 30-something pounds, and this one was about 25 pounds. But they have wheels, and that's kind of what I wanted. I used to use backpacks all the time, and I'm sick and tired of backpacks. I'm getting old, so the wheels are much better. I just strapped these two guys together and just tow them as one, and it worked out great. Anyway, as you can see, there's a huge mess. I've got all this crap I've got to go through tonight, and all of this over here. I've got a shoot, 2-day shoot in Oklahoma starting tomorrow. Got to leave for tomorrow. We shoot Monday and Tuesday and then head back. So that is going to be my job for the rest of my Saturday evening. Okay. Thanks, guys.